What's going on, guys? Zebs here, bringing you a highly requested series today, and that is the render series. Today I decided I'm gonna bring it back. You guys really enjoyed those back in the day when I would make different styles, make tutorials on how to do it. So I thought I'm gonna bring that style back, and I'm gonna have them more often. And of course, the Adobe Premiere beginner's guide is still going on. Don't worry about that. I just thought I'd switch it up a little bit and bring you guys a render series or a render episode. So today we're going to be going over a render I made a few days ago, which if you guys follow my personal channel at all, which is Zebs Arts, I post speed arts and gameplay there. I made a speed art recently with this render, and I really thought this was a really cool render, mostly due to the texture I used. I think it's a 4K texture, and I downscaled it down to a 1080p texture. So it looks really nice, and I can move it around a lot to my liking depending on the logo. Now this material will be down in the description down below if you guys want to have it and play with it a little bit. I didn't do too much to it. I pretty much added the texture, added a bump, and then did a little bit of lighting, you know, your basic thing. Also, I'll be teaching you guys how to use atom arrays, all that kind of stuff if you don't already. So yeah, today, it's the only plugin you're gonna need is Reaper-X, but most people have that, and that's mostly for these little lines here, which I guess could be optional if you want. And then I'm gonna show you right now the banner I made with this render, which is it's pretty cool. It's not something you'd expect from this type of render. Like, you'd expect something dark and kind of meh, you know. But usually you guys know my like kind of banner, so I like bright and in your face kind of banners, such as this one. I have a lot of sparkles and things like that, some flares here. So yeah, I mean, I can teach you guys how to make this banner if you guys want. Leave a comment down below if that's what you want. But today I'm just gonna be going over the render, not the Photoshop part. Now, if that's something you guys do want, I can do that. Again, just leave a comment down below. But let's get to the render now. So here's the render right here, as you can see, and I'm basically just gonna show you guys how to make it. So let me get my logo. Alright guys, so I just added my logo. So the first thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the basics of what you should do usually every time you add a logo to Cinema 4D. Now today I'm gonna be using Studio R16, so there shouldn't be anything different with whatever version you're using. The reason I do this is because R16 is using a different material engine, as you can see here. So things might be different on certain tutorials, but today you don't have to worry. It doesn't matter what version you use. As long as you can use Reaper-X, you should be fine. So the first thing what we're going to want to do is select all three extrudes. You could do this two ways, just, you know, click them all, hold control, and then go over that. Or you can click one, hold shift, and then click the very bottom one. That'll select all three of them, saves time. The next thing what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to put this axis right in the center of this logo, because if we don't do that, if I try and rotate it or something, it's going to rotate around this axis down here instead of the center, so it's going to be all weird and funky looking. So to fix this, all you got to do is click this little shape here, this axis looking thing here, click that, and then just kind of drag it to the center. Now usually, depending on the logo, if you click F2 on your keyboard, it's not going to be centered in the front of the logo. Sometimes it might even be out here, depending on how you made the AI. But most of the time it's just going to be gently right in the front. So you just kind of want to center it a little bit. Very useful. So once we've done that, we can click it again. So now if we rotate it, it's going to rotate around the center of the axis, which in this case is in the center of the logo. So it works out for us. Next thing what we're going to want to do is we're going to select all three extrudes again, and we're going to go into the movement tab here, and we're going to select 60. We're going to put 60 there. Now that is our depth. As you can see here, it's a lot thicker. Before it's 20. We just made it 3 times as bigger. So now we're going to recenter it. Once again, you might want to do this. Centering really does help it. Makes your job a lot easier. So click it again. Next, we're going to go into caps. This is our edge refining kind of thing. As you can see here, this is kind of like an extreme version of it. We're just going to set the steps and radius to 1. Leave it at fillet cap, and that will then, smooth out the edges if I render it out now. Looks a lot nicer. So the next step is going to be adding our materials, I'd say. Now, I did state that the material was going to be in the description down below for download if you guys want to use it. So there's that. So I'm just going to drag it onto each thingy here. And then once you've done that, set it to cubic and then seamless. And as you can see here, it by default kind of puts this like chainy kind of ripped apart in the center of the logo. Now let's say you're using a different logo. To get this centered, you can use the length U, length V, offset V, and offset U. And what this does is it moves the texture around from the logo. So that's why it's better to have high resolution textures rather than low res. Well, two factors is one, if you have a low res texture, it's going to be really blurry and stretched a bunch. Like it will look like this. So that's that's how you know if you're using a low res texture, if it looks all blurry and stretched and stuff. And also, if you're using a high res texture, you can do more things with it by moving it around without it being blurry and whatnot. So I'm gonna move it kind of to the center like this. I kind of like that look, and then you can move it up and down, things like that. But I like this look. So now if I render it out, you can see here that it added the material, and from the material I added a light glow to it. Makes it really cool with color corrections in Photoshop, so just trust me on that. But yeah, this is really cool material I found, and I thought let's make a style with it, so that's what I did. But once you add this material, the next thing what we're going to want to do is we are going to then do our kind of like our little balls we did. So like right here, I'm going to do them a little bit differently because I don't like the lighting on it, so I'm going to do it a little bit different. So just get a platonic right here. This is kind of like your tool for this. Just go into the type here and select Bucky. This kind of makes like a soccer ball kind of look to it. It's really cool. And once you've done this, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but you can just leave it. In this case, I'm going to leave it just due to the fact that I like this look a lot more than the one I did in here, which has a lot more low poly segments and things like that, so it gives off more reflection. I didn't really like it. So we're just going to leave this, and then we're going to drag it back. And as you can see, it's huge. Like, it's huge compared to the logo. So we're just going to click T on our keyboard, or click this button right here. So T or this. And we're just going to hold down left click, don't let go, and just drag it to the left. And as you can see the percentage going down of the size. So now you can make the size however you like. And we're just going to kind of put it kind of in the middle of the render kind of, but have part of it sticking out. Well, you can check this, F2, you can see that the shape here, the platonic's here, and the logo's here, and you can see, like, get it the way you like it. We're going to duplicate it with Control-C and Control-V, and then just drag it somewhere else, kind of randomize it a little bit, and then use the rotation tool here, and just kind of randomize it a little bit so they don't look the same. We're going to select the first one again, duplicate it one more time, and then I'd say we could put it, maybe right here, I'd say. It's a good spot. You can make it whatever size you like. Again, I'm going to prefer kind of like a medium size because we're going to be rotating this back a little bit, so it'll give it a nicer look a little bit later. But just trust me on this, go with the medium size. And then we're going to put the broken texture onto these. And we're going to try and avoid having this like ripped like chain part on it. So we're going to increase the texture size a bunch. So we're going to stretch it out to the point where it's not going to have it. So I've noticed right here is a pretty good size, 51%. Just use the length U, stretch it out a bunch. It's not going to matter a whole lot on these. As you can see here, if I render it out, it pretty much looks the same for the most part. You don't need intense detail on it. And the lighting here it's alright, I like it. If you guys don't like this in Photoshop, just get a black brush and then go over it to darken it, things like that. But once we've done this, now we're going to get this atom ray kind of look on it with like the outline, but it's all like curved and whatnot. So to do this, we're just going to select the logo, duplicate it with Control-C, Control-V, get atom ray, 3 atom rays since we're using 3 different extrudes. Drag the extrude into the atom ray for each one. You can minimize it if you want for organization. select them all, and then as you can see here, each little corner slash edge has a sphere on it. I mean, you could do something cool with it, I would say. I want to do something with these, like a cool style with it. Maybe I'll make a tutorial on it if I find something cool that I can do with it. But in this case, we're just going to set the cylinder to 1 and the sphere to 1 to give it a basic looking outline. So once we've done this, what you're going to want to do is add a chrome material or any type of material. Like this will work. Just select create a material and then make it dark gray like this, and then get a, well, that could work if you want. Just leave it like this. Don't mess with reflectance. But if you do have a chrome material like this, I recommend using that. It's pretty cool. Little detail. But if you don't have any, just make a dark gray material and that'll work. So just drag it over the atom array. Select all 3. Remember, select projection, cubic, seamless. Do this for all of your materials. And now we're going to center the axis again. This is where centering it kind of helps a bunch. As you can see here, it's out in the front a bunch. So we're just going to kind of center it. We're going to do the same thing for all 3 of these. So boom, boom, 1, 2, and then the third one right here, center it again. It's really important to know where your axis is at all times, because of rotating it and whatnot. Makes it so much easier to rotate it. So once we've done this, we're just going to go over each one and kind of give it a light little rotate. Or not a little rotate, but like kind of make it where it's kind of sticking out of things and it's not very like nice looking and edge to the logo. Kind of randomize it a little bit. So in this case, I'll do like something like this maybe. And then this one, the first one, I'll do this one like that. So now if we render it out, it will have these cool looking outline things on it. Give it like a rugged old look. I like this look. I don't know, like that. Boom. So once we've done this, now we're going to get into the rebrex part. This is like these like kind of metal lines going through it and things like that. So to start off with, we are going to get a freehand. It's right here. So basically just click this, get a freehand. So now you can draw whatever you want and it'll make custom splines to your liking. In this case, we're going to click F5 and we're going to go into the front view. You can click this right here and that'll take you there. So what we're going to do is we're basically just going to draw some kind of straight lines going up and then a couple down. So we'll have maybe one right here, one here, have 2 going this way. Kind of randomize it a little bit, I would say. Do this, and then we can have a couple going down. This kind of gives it a look like it's like wires are feeding off the logo. A really cool effect, I'd say. And once we've done this, we're just going to go back into our front view by clicking F1 or clicking F5 again, and then clicking this, either one. It's really cool to, like, it's not cool. It's really useful to learn all the shortcuts. Just saves time. So once we've done this, we're going to select all the splines and make sure they're all correct. In this case, they are. So now we're just going to get a bunch of rebrexes of the amount of splines we have. So in this case, we have 8 splines. So we're going to get 8 rebrexes. So we got 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I got enough. Maybe one more. So just put the spline into the rebrex so that it goes right under. So this like little L thing goes under. Boom. Oops. Try and avoid doing that, like missing it. So once we've done this, I got an extra so I can delete that. I'm just gonna minimize all this, make some space on my little like work area here. So now we have all of our rebrex like line rope things going on, and as you can tell, it looks much different than what we have here, which is a very straight, basic, like not a special line. And here it's all curvy and thick and stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our strands down to 1, and that will get rid of the rope kind of look on it. And then now we're gonna turn down our distance. That gives us like the curve. So we're gonna set it down to 0. That makes it straight as possible. And then we're gonna turn down the radius. This is to your liking. 6 is pretty good, but it's up to you guys. So once we've done this, while we have all these rebreaks selected, we're just going to drag it back behind the the logo. So have it kind of 3/4 from the front, so that part of it is sticking out but it's not in the front, so it kind of sticks out of the logo. Really cool effect. And once we've done this, just add your chrome or dark gray material. It doesn't really matter. Drag it over it, and then set cubic and seamless to all of them so that it doesn't stretch it out. And once we've done this, now we're going to do it one more time, but this time we're going to set this little thin, like, kind of randomized thing here. So just do the same thing, get a free hand, go into F4, which is the front view, and then just kind of draw some, like, random lines around this. Boom. And make sure when you unclick, make sure it's behind the logo so it just doesn't stick out. I made that mistake right here. As you can see, this is when I let go of the click, so it's kind of sticking out, but I got lucky because it kind of looks like it's going into this wire a little bit. So yeah, so once we have this random spline right here, and we're just going to get a Reaper X. Same thing, set the strengths to 1, and distance, well, I mean, the distance doesn't really matter since it's randomized, but set the radius to something thin, so like 1 or 2 maybe. I'll go with 2 in this case. And we're going to center the axis, like so. It's already there. Alright, so now we can just, hold on, let me get it right in there, Set your material. Once you've done that, set cubic, seamless. And now we are going to then rotate the logo. So we're going to do this, boom. Rotate it just a tad bit if you like. You could also, one thing I forgot to mention was right here, I kind of randomized the logo a little bit, so that's not so straight and forward here, which that's completely up to you guys if you want to do it. I kind of forgot about it, but it still looks really good about it. Not really good about it. It still looks pretty good, even without the randomized thing. It's all up to you guys. Remember, these renders, you can do what you want. I'm just giving you a cool little setup you can do, and sometimes some materials and maybe some ideas. But hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Sorry it's a little bit long, it's 18 minutes, but try to go as fast as I could and still teach you guys some things. But the series is back. The Adobe Premiere will be next week, I think, and I also have something really special planned for a tutorial in the upcoming couple weeks. It'll take a lot of time to make. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Leave a like and comment down below on suggestions. There's also a link down below on suggesting tutorials for all of us. But hope you guys enjoyed it for the 3rd time. I've been your host, Zebs, and I am out. Peace.